So a while back I got a message from one of my American friends, and he was telling me about the fudge covered Ritz crackers. And now that was news to me, and sure got me interested. So I went around town and looking for them here in Canada, and I couldn't find them. And but check this out, my buddy 805 Road King, he comes through, and look what he sent me. He sent me a couple of boxes of the limited edition fudge covered Ritz. Here's his card. And so this is awesome. So working on the front suspension here on this project, and it seems that the amount of time that I spend cutting steel and welding steel is pretty minimal compared to the amount of time that it takes to just to plan it and get things to fit where I want and all that. But we're gonna have a look at what I've been up to here, and I'll show you guys around a bit. So here you can see I've just got the brackets tack welded in place here for the A-arms, and setting these A-arms up, getting them right in the spot where I want them to be, basically I use the same procedure as what I used for the back. So and then we're going to have a look at the spindle here that I set up. So I'm still working on this side, but it already gives you an idea on what it's going to look like when it's done. So and then we'll head over to the other side too, and I'll show you how far I am over there. So some of you guys will remember this is the jig that I built to make the front A-arms, and when I built it I set it up so that I could build the top and bottom A-arms at a different angle, and that's why there you see the different bolt holes here. So what I was doing is I was creating caster into the geometry before I even bolt it together. So I had a guy who was kind of curious why I would do it this way rather than just use the threaded rod ends to adjust the caster when it's all on the machine, you know, rather than build two different kinds of arms, make them all the same. So a good question, we're going to have a look at that today. Well, I'm going to show you guys another little jig here that I made for this project, and all it is a piece of square tubing on the end here, and it simulates the spindle. So and then on that jig I've got an angle finder, and it's already showing me how much caster I've got into the geometry. You can see that the bottom rod end is farther to the right than what the top is. So that's my caster right there. So yeah, so like I say, I've already got my caster that I want pretty well exactly, and I've been able to do that without having to use up a whole bunch of thread on those rod ends, because I feel that the farther that the thread is extended outwards, the weaker that whole assembly becomes. So that was my strategy, just to get the geometry where I want before I even bolt it together without having to use up a whole bunch of thread. And this simulated spindle, it also shows me how much camber I've got in it if I put the angle finder on this side, you know. So kind of a handy setup there just to show me what's going on. So let's head over to the other side again. I got some more stuff to show you there. Another shot of the left side spindle. So looking at it from the top, here you can see I closed off the end. So this is just a piece of square tubing, right? So I just took a piece of thin plate and I welded it in here and smoothed it off, and this is more for cosmetic and stuff. So, but I'm going to show you guys another jig that I made specifically for the spindles. So this is my next spindle, and looks quite a bit different yet. It has to get all cut down and stuff. But it's sitting on a jig, and it's like a tripod. So I got a bolt sitting in each corner with a nut. So, and that helps me to get the angles right where I want it. But I already have some angle pre-cut into it, you know, for my caster. You know, I just use the bolts for fine tuning. And I also set the camber. And what I do is I have this whole jig in place, like over here, with that thing on there. And then it holds it in place for me to get the bracket set up and stuff, and then from there I can cut it all down and make it look like this one here.